places the blame for all of this squarely on you, the viewers.
Would you say we'd be venturing into a zone of danger?
It doesn't matter what you think!
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Bryan Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, like, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
Well, from Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, this is the Our Take Podcast, episode 27, January 11th. I'm Bryan.
I am Spencer.
Is it the 11th?
No, I don't know why I looked at my watch, because I was actually questioning what episode it was.
Oh.
As if my watch was going to tell me.
Look at your watch?
Oh, my watch says it's actually episode 28. That's so weird.
It is January 11th. On this day in history in 1908, Theodore Roosevelt declared Roosevelt declares the massive Grand Canyon a national monument.
I've got a massive Grand Canyon for you right here.
Like, you mess up so much, and I never say
I'm sorry. I don't know why I did
damn
that.
word.
I know.
This is a very special episode, much like the Luis episode, because now my best friend is here. Say hello to Danny.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Was I supposed to say something?
Yeah, you were.
Who were you? I wasn't sure if you were talking to, like, the audience.
No, they can't
or
say
me.
hi.
Like, do you think they're going to be in their car now? Like, hi.
Like, I hope. I hope so. Anyway, Danny plays drums. He played drums in a band that we were in called The Market. And
I remember those guys.
Danny and I have been drummers.
We opened for Hoobastank.
For together. We've known each other for what? 20 years. 20 years?
Going on 21.
Going on 21 years.
Like
my best friend.
And lover.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so, I mean, I hope you prepared, like, some sort of quiz, like Luis did.
Oh.
I know you didn't.
I didn't do it.
Yeah,
Danny, what did you bring to the table today?
Tell me.
Daniel?
No.
How embarrassing.
Well, I should have got in on this podcast a lot earlier, because now you guys are kind of a big deal.
It's true. You should have
200,000 followers.
Too much pressure.
You should have been on, like, episode 2.
The millions and the millions of the Rocks fans.
Before you guys were a big deal.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
Yeah.
First of all,
what?
Everyone, you can find us at the Our Take Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Please follow and like us and talk to us. I want to know how people would feel about a secondary podcast, because Danny and I recorded a few episodes of one called Let's Watch a Movie.
Oh.
I did.
It was Danny's idea. It was his brainchild.
And then I killed it.
And basically, we would count down and start a movie, and start to finish, just watch the movie and talk about it while it's playing.
I thought that you just watched the movie.
No.
You didn't say anything.
It's like,
I gotta go to the bathroom, man. That was
it's our commentary
Did you
track.
fart?
it's a commentary track, basically.
Didn't they already do that?
It doesn't matter.
Mystery science theater.
It's better. Okay,
It's
it was
better because we're real.
Yeah.
It's for people who just need a friend.
And we did like 5 episodes and never released them.
We just never released them.
Oh.
So if you want it, really, it would only take like maybe one person saying that you want it on one of our social media handles, and we'd probably put them up. And it's called Let's Watch a Movie. LWAM.
LWAM.
Yeah.
We got Top Gun in the bag already.
Yeah, we did like 5,
can,
right?
In the bag? Can? Whatever.
Can? Bag? I don't know.
Who's getting canned?
Back to the Future.
Oh.
We did Back to the Future, Top Gun, Twister. Yeah.
Avengers. That one's alright.
This storm will kill you. It will kill your children.
Twister.
It will kill your pets.
Hey,
Way to be hot on the button.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Did you guys get paid today? Did you get your paycheck?
I did, because luckily I don't work for the
Did you
non-functioning
get
federal
your Our
government.
Take podcast? A lot of people may not know this, but the Our Take podcast is actually funded by the U.S. government.
We're working for free.
Yeah, we're working. We're hoping to get some back pay, but everyone today did not get a paycheck in the government.
I saw a dude allowed CNN to have a screen grab of his online statement just so you could see that it said net pay zero.
What a dick move to even send it out.
Like everybody knows, but here's the real proof. Like all of a sudden, people are gonna be like, you know what? Screw the wall. That guy didn't get paid.
Right, I know. Did you hear what the U.S. Coast Guard told? They also released a similar, notice and some suggestions.
How is it the Coast Guard's not getting paid? I don't
The
understand
Army,
that
no
one.
one's getting paid. None of the military is.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Hang on. We
Nah,
got to
I
look
don't-
at this.
I don't know
Only a
anything
quarter
about
of the government is shut down. I think that the Coast Guard is like a...
The Coast Guard isn't.
I know they're not.
So maybe you're right. Maybe because...
It's the non-essential
Yeah,
stuff.
maybe you're right. But the Coast Guard was told to have a garage sale.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Who?
It was just a memo, just like the one from...
The one that said, here's a letter to send to your landlord?
Yeah,
They
correct.
sent out a memo,
Yeah, have a garage sale, sell your talents.
like on the Office of Personnel Management?
Yeah,
Oh, come on.
Like to the people in the Coast Guard,
yeah.
telling them how to make money.
Yeah.
while we're not paying them.
Yeah.
Oh, my
weird.
gosh.
Hey, and this time, and so I was thinking that we could have a garage sale, our Take Podcast garage sale.
Yeah. We have an extra mixer.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I went through all my crap, I could probably sell
A microphone
lot.
muff.
Muff. I don't know if that's...
That's what I call them, but, 800,000 employees are not getting paid. Let me see. Military. Most members of the military, Navy, Army, Air Force, and Marine are getting regular pay because they are funded through the Department of Defense, whose 2019 fiscal appropriations were approved last September.
They actually get their money from the Men in Black, so...
Yeah. The Coast Guard falls under the Department of Homeland Security.
Oh.
And despite working through the shutdown, wasn't supposed to receive regular pay. Isn't that interesting that the Department of Homeland Security, whose charge is to protect our borders, are the ones not getting paid? That's
Well, either are the Border Patrol agents, correct?
right.
Yeah.
But we'll send the Marines down there to put up concertina wire and pay them extra hazard pay.
Do you guys know what Canada does when they have a situation like this?
Probably something better than us.
They do. They have a vote of no confidence.
For the Prime Minister?
Everyone.
Like a public vote?
No, their Senate or whatever, the Parliament.
Parliament.
Yeah.
They all have a special election. They all go out.
So they go back to their district, and their district votes on whether or not they have a no confidence vote.
They all get fired.
Oh, they all
To start
They're like,
over.
you
from
guys can't
scratch.
make a decision, so we need to have an election to vote people in who will.
Oh, so it's not a no confidence vote. They literally fire them and re-elect,
Essentially,
and
yeah.
have a new election.
Right. I think you might be able to re-elect that same...
Right, they're on the ballot.
Right.
If they get nominated, probably in their same type of party system.
How awesome would that be if we did that here?
That'd be cool.
Actually, I was listening to something else, and they said we should just do it to the leaders. Like if Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell were
Yeah.
about to lose their jobs, then they'd be like, "Whoa, hey guys, let's be cool here."
Why don't we have how do you remove a Speaker of the House?
I believe you have to beat them in a game of Rummy Cube.
I love Rummy Cube. Oh, they have to be impeached. So they can be impeached. Everyone can be impeached. Do you know Supreme
impeach 'em
Court
all.
justices
It
can be
takes way
impeached?
too long.
It does take a long time.
Let's do it. Let's do it all.
What
We need a
about
confidence
the-
vote? That's what we need. That's how Emperor Palpatine came to power, though.
Right?
You're right.
How do you remove the Senate
Creepy.
majority?
It might be better. The trains ran on time.
I've
in the
always
Empire.
wondered if the people of the Empire really, if they saw it the same way as the Jedi. Maybe they were like, "Hey,
Everything worked.
the economy's great.
Trains run on time.
We're safe."
Oh yeah, they have a formal removal.
No, those
procedure.
terrorist Jedi.
I
So,
am the Senate.
do you remember our predictions list?
The only one I remember is the.
Well,
you
we've
think-
only made one so far.
Oh, okay. Well, we
we
kind of made a second one last time.
Oh,
but you
what
said
was it?
first. You said Tesla's going out of business.
On episode 22 on 12/8/2018, I said Tesla will go under within 10 years.
Yeah, and then kind of last episode we hinted that we thought Queen Elizabeth might die.
That was more like a Deadpool.
She's in the Deadpool for someone.
Yeah. So I have two predictions that I'm going to add to our list today.
Okay.
And feel free to add any of yours because all of mine are so far long-reaching predictions.
Yeah.
My first prediction is that Trump will declare a national emergency and get his wall built.
On that wall.
Well,
Which, can I just say at this point, just do it. Let's
get it over with.
Just end this
No.
and just freaking whatever.
No,
I think he likes fighting about it, though.
I guess.
I don't. No, I'm not giving in.
Well, you can't give in.
Tell that to the people who aren't.
It doesn't really matter, though.
Yeah, it's like let's just give the government back. I don't know. Anyway,
Hey, you know what? I don't know. Life's going on. At least for the 800,000 people, it's not. But
anyway, the prediction. I have a prediction.
what's
that
the over under?
for the prediction?
All right, wait. Are you going to a second prediction?
No, this is my first one. Okay, I'm still.
Okay.
I've got. So I predict that the wall will be built, and within 10 to 15 years, maybe 20, it will be in complete disrepair, and we'll be voting on whether to repair the wall.
Did you see someone? I think it was MSNBC or NBC obtained like an exclusive picture of the steel concept wall
With the holes cut in it?
Yeah, so they cut a hole in it. Last year, it was like they charged a group of Marines, like, "Hey, see if you can break through these prototypes."
Uh-huh.
And that was one of them, was the steel,
Right.
which is what he's trying to compromise with. And it had a giant hole from like a sawzall. I don't know. No, Danny, do you think this is going to happen?
The wall?
Yeah, do you think he's going to declare a national emergency and it's going to be done?
I think building a wall along the whole border doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's not my question.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like, will he actually
If
win?
you would have
Yeah.
listened to our last episode that we haven't released yet,
Yeah.
you would know
Do you
that we
do you
think,
think
the
that
wall's
he'll
stupid.
declare a national emergency and use emergency funds that Congress has no control over?
Yeah, I think so.
So what's your guys' over-under on how long? We talking like over a week, less than...
I don't know. I wouldn't
2
be
months?
surprised if it happened this weekend. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what? He'll
It
wait-
wouldn't shock me.
What's today? Is today Friday?
Friday. the
Usually they wait
11th.
till Friday to do this stuff
Yeah.
because the news is
stale
on
news.
Saturday.
I think
Yeah.
that
on Monday.
Yep.
that he's going to have to. Well, here's something I haven't thought of, or I just thought of today. Is I know a group of people who could end the government shutdown really quickly.
Canadians.
Now, air traffic controllers, if
Oh,
they
yeah.
went on strike, they'd have to,
Yeah.
right? Commerce would die. Would be a serious.
All of it. That's the thing with the Coast
fly.
Guard.
What?
Can you still fly? Just more dangerously?
planes are just
Just on radar.
everyone
Visual.
just
Use
look
visual.
look around.
But they had to be able to see well.
You have a
to fly.
ledger. You're flying at 25,000. You're flying at 27.5.
That would be such a. Have you ever seen the map of planes like
That's ridiculous.
all at once? Can
Just
you
one
imagine?
solid red dot.
Yeah,
There's like a
basically.
GIF of like a day.
Yeah.
Where just like in the middle of the day, it's like the whole U.S. is covered.
Yeah, basically.
It's a lot of pollution.
Contrails.
But the most important part
Chemtrails.
of my prediction here is not so much that the wall is going to be built. That's part of it, but the biggest part is that it will be in complete disrepair within 10 to 15
Sure.
years.
Oh, yeah.
Complete.
Can't
Like
maintain that.
you've seen pictures of things in Russia that are in complete, or even Brazil after the Olympics.
Oh my gosh,
That's what I
yeah.
mean. Like just
Yeah.
complete utter.
Look up
like
pictures.
3 years later.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
up pictures of
the
Sochi.
Greece Olympics.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
it's
Sochi.
it's a total wreck. So that's my prediction for that. I do have one other prediction though, and as this isn't really groundbreaking because it was talked a lot about today in the news, at least what I was listening to, is that if Trump does declare the national emergency, and the wall does get built, when there is a Democrat in office, they will declare another emergency of some sort. Maybe it's healthcare, maybe it's guns, and Republicans will flip a bitch.
Sure. Are most Republicans on board with the national emergency?
I don't think so.
What-
Most, from what I've heard, a lot of them are not super keen on that idea because
Does-
they know that the same thing's going to happen.
Does the Congress have any recourse?
Yeah, apparently they can sue. They'll be lawsuits.
It'll be like Supreme Court.
Yeah. So just because he declares a national emergency, basically it'll go to court to see if it is a national
Right.
emergency.
All the way up to the Devil's Triangle. Yeah. With PJ and Squee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wonder what Congress would do. How much money is in the National Emergency Fund? in the bucket?
No, I don't know.
Should we look it up?
Here's something else I was thinking about today too. I was looking at how much income the U.S. gets every year.
Like the GDP? Or tax dollars?
Tax dollars, essentially. So
It's stupid.
not just tax dollars, everything. And it was $342 million.
Wait, what?
Sorry. $trillion.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound like
So the federal government collects
Or was
300
it 3.422 trillion? It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
Basically, it's enough where $5 billion is kind of a drop in the bucket.
I know it's out of principle.
Yeah, I know.
It's totally out of principle.
I see. I mean, I don't want it to just give in and give the baby his bottle. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that aren't getting paid. That it's just the air traffic controllers filed a lawsuit today. There was actually in Ogden,
The union, the ATC union.
There was a over here at the IRS building.
yeah.
There was a demonstration yesterday. People are getting pissed, and I don't know how much longer. I have to imagine that Trump doesn't want to get reelected, right? Like he's at this point he's pissing so many people off.
Oh, no, his pride.
I guess.
Come on.
dude.
He's gonna try and try and pull a Xi Jinping and stay in power
Stay forever.
By the way, it's 3.7 trillion in
Yeah, there
income
you
and
go.
payroll taxes.
Yeah, a lot.
No, you're right. 5 billion. So just so everybody remembers, a billion is 1,000 millions,
Yeah.
and a trillion is 1,000 billions. So we have 3.7 thousand million billions is how much is coming in taxes. He's asking for 5.7 billion. I understand it's small.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, if you ever want to know, you can go look at the pie chart of our budget and see how stupid it is,
The
how
only
much we
thing-
spend on, like, defense.
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous. The only thing that bugs me is that if he does get it up, the wall, and his penis, it doesn't matter what happens. If it goes into disrepair, if it's not effective, it doesn't
Will it be
matter
rebuilt?
because he is so stupid and in his own world
It's not-
that to him it will always have been a success.
Well, even if it gets funded, though, do you think it'll even get built?
I don't know.
Because I feel like he will feel like he won
It'll
that
go
battle,
out-
and then
It'll go out to bid, and it'll
Yeah.
never... Yeah.
and then
Who
he'll be
knows?
out of office by the time
I don't
starts
know.
get built, and then someone will be able to scrap that.
Stephen Colbert. Well, crap, I don't remember who it was. It was either Stephen Colbert or Kimmel. It might have been Kimmel. He thinks, one of them thinks, that we just fake it for him. We just hire a movie studio and
You said that he's stupid, and you've said that before, and I don't disagree.
Yeah.
But the people who are stupider are his base that are falling for it.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
You know, I mean, we went through loads of statistics and fact checking last episode about how unreliable and how you can't justify this at all. You know, it is so transparent that this is a play for 2020. This is the only campaign promise that he's
Possibly going
going
make
to
good
keep.
on.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It's the most ridiculous one, too.
yeah,
Oh, did
and
you-
when 2020, when do the general election campaigns start to happen? Right after the midterms.
right.
It's normal.
Well, did you hear? I'm sure you did. That he was like, I never really meant to say that Mexico was going to pay for it.
Oh yeah, he's trying to
Even though
say
it's
like,
all over the place in
through the-
writing,
yeah.
in his speeches.
do you think his base understands the difference between Mexico cutting a check to us and Mexico paying more in NAFTA?
No.
No, and that's not how it works. We can't. The U.S. economy making more money is not a deposit into the Treasury.
No.
So a trade deal, albeit good for the United States economy, does not put money into the Treasury to then spend on government things.
Well, I mean, he did bankrupt like 3 casinos. or
Casino?
something,
How do you
right? So,
bankrupt a casino?
I don't know. Pay everybody out. I don't
Dude.
forget to rig the machines,
Slots,
right?
slots are too loose.
Well, didn't even get off the ground. One of them, right?
Yeah.
In Atlantic
Okay,
City.
this says, by the way, congressional aides have estimated that there are currently about $13 billion in unobligated funds for military construction and family housing. but 11 billion is already pegged to planned projects, meaning only 2 billion could be reprogrammed.
Reprogrammed?
That's interesting that 11 billion out of the 13 billion of an emergency fund is already
Is
it's already taken for housing. That like for the fires and stuff. I
Oh,
wonder?
maybe it's fires and hurricanes and all that jazz.
Yeah,
Must
maybe.
be.
Interesting.
Well, that's enough on the wall. I don't want to talk about it
Yeah,
anymore.
we've talked about it a
We'll
lot.
burn out. So let's talk about something just as So I was thinking to myself the other day, the wrong side of history. Are you familiar with the term when people say they were on the wrong side of history?
Yeah.
Like who? Give me some examples of who you
Confederacy.
think. The Confederacy.
The British.
The South on the wrong side of history. Because
You meaning they made the wrong call
well,
or they lost?
when I think more like hindsight, you look at what they were fighting for wasn't really just,
Yeah, so definitely
Or
the
wasn't
Confederacy
correct.
is one.
right?
Wasn't moral, it wasn't just. Sure.
Right.
Nazi Germany. I mean,
Nazis.
this is,
Yes.
like, obvious answers.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
the
When
obvious-
has this term been said? Is that what you're wondering, or when were people on the wrong side of history?
No, I was just wondering. I was just trying to.
I've heard Alex
trying to-
Jones say
but
it
yeah.
all the time.
But
You know what? I've actually heard someone say before. I can't remember what the debate was. I think it was about gay rights, and this was years ago. And someone said to me, like, "I realize I'm on the wrong side of history on this one, but I can't change
Oh,
my
yeah.
mind."
I
so
remember
it's like,
this is so. I've noticed that conservatives.
are always on the wrong side of history.
I don't want to, but when you really think about it, they're trying to conserve their way of life. That's what a conservative
Right.
is.
Whereas progressives,
Right.
right?
So when you look back at the South was making a lot of money on the backs of the slaves, and they wanted to preserve or conserve their way of life.
Right.
Right.
We should call them preservationists. That's
right.
not bad. Yeah.
Hitler wanted a master race, and he wanted to preserve
Yeah.
or conserve his way of life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I see where you're
and
going.
what I think is interesting is that it always it seems that it comes back like I'll give an example.
Okay.
We'll go.
I think I know what you're getting at, like pro-action versus reaction.
Well, so the LDS Church, okay, they were tormented. That's not the right
Persecuted.
word. Persecuted to no end. They were tarred and feathered. They were ran out of town because
Murdered.
the
Exterminated.
people who were on the wrong side of history were against them. They wanted to preserve their way of life.
Yeah,
they didn't want a new religion.
Right.
They didn't want these crazy Mormons.
Yeah. The guy who said he's seen God.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, fast forward to 2008 when they're like, we don't want gays to get married. They do the exact same thing
Right.
to the gay people.
Right.
Right? Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely. To make this more poignant, it should be noted that one of the main reasons, one of the reasons that Mormons were persecuted was because of polygamy,
Right.
which everyone listening should know that is not a mainstream Mormon doctrine anymore since 1890.
Not to be confused with the FLDS
fundamentalists.
Church, where it is. And
But so your point is that this is clearly like a sexual immorality, right? Perceived by the people outside of the church to be sexually immoral.
Mm-hmm.
So they persecuted them to the point of killing them and driving them out,
right.
right? And then in 2008, the church is saying, hey, what you're doing, gay people, is sexually immoral.
Right.
So we're going to spend a lot of money and time basically persecuting you so you can't have rights.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It seems to what comes around or goes around comes around.
Yeah.
It just seems to happen a
Turntables.
lot with
Turned.
What?
Turntables of
Yeah, mine are the turntables. Yeah.
So there is one other big incident where people might have been on the wrong side of history, and it might be a bit of a controversial one.
Okay.
But it happened a really long time ago, and there was a group of people that didn't like this other group of people who were following somebody named Jesus.
I'm like trying to follow where he's going with this. So
Easing us into this one, dude.
wait, I'm not following.
So it's
Like
the same
2,000
thing.
years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the same thing, right? The Romans and the Jews, they didn't want this guy
Right.
coming in and starting a new religion and everything, so they crucified him.
Right.
It's the same thing. And it's just weird that conservatives still do that.
This is the whole reason that history is taught in school. Like, the whole reason that history is ever taught in school, whether or not you agree with it, whether it's inaccurate, the whole reason it's taught is that hopefully we'll learn from it. So when you see a dictator, you know, propagating genocide or a master race,
He is kind of a dick.
you will say that. Hopefully you can kind of see it. I'm not saying that's happening, by the way. I'm just saying that the reason that, you know, Holocaust deniers is so scary is
Right.
because that opens the door
Make
for
the
that
mistake
history to
again.
be repeated. Yeah.
Right. So I guess what I'm trying to say is conservatives don't seem to learn from their history. It's just weird how they always do. They just do the same thing to the
Right.
people who persecuted them.
Yeah, I've never understood why like the word progressive got demonized.
Right.
Like, do either of you have any context as to why that being a progressive is a bad thing?
Because I'm guessing people are trying to conserve their way of life.
Like, what's a progressive ideal?
Gay marriage,
Okay.
legalizing marijuana,
Feminism,
Feminism?
feminism,
abortion.
abortion,
Well,
Yeah.
electric cars.
come on.
Probably
Let's
not
be honest.
abortion.
Like, man, abortion's been around for a very long time. And you've said it before on this podcast that people are anti-abortion until they knock up their aid.
Well, yeah,
Right.
That's if people knew how many abortions Republicans had,
Yeah.
then they'd probably switch sides.
So why? I mean, just play devil's advocate for me, either one of you. Why? When did that get demonized? When did that become a bad thing? And conversely, why do we demonize conservatives for trying to preserve a way of life? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. I think the better, not the better question, but I understand. I think the word progressive just gets put in the mud because the conservative people are
Just ideologically
like
opposite.
that guy's, Martin Luther King. He's a troublemaker. He's, you know what I mean. That's
Oh,
that kind of attitude.
What was the word they used for Jesus? An agitator, or
Yeah, that sounds right.
Where? When?
in the
What?
like what the Romans called him, like I think they called him an agitator
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, it's just weird to me when certain groups get completely demonized and their name even becomes
Right.
synonymous with something bad to a certain group.
Right.
And
So
yeah, you're kind of on the wrong side there. When I mean, man, there's been some really even locally here in the LDS Church, there's been some stuff lately about ceremonies being changed to make it more gender
Palatable.
gender palatable, more equal between the genders.
right.
And so that is a great example of feminism, the feminism movement pushing a religion to change something that it's a pretty big doctrinal point, and you can Google it if you want to.
Okay.
You know, it's like the nuts and bolts are before this change,
Things were much more separate.
women were supposed to kind of obey their husbands who were following God.
Okay.
Now, women are told to just follow God. They don't need men as an intermediary anymore.
Oh.
So it's a big, big change. And you wonder, would this have been brought on if there wasn't a progressive movement?
You mean kind of like when blacks got the priesthood?
Probably. Yeah. It makes you wonder. And so I think we're on the same page there in terms of being on the wrong side of history.
Right.
Are you able to recognize it in your time though? You know?
Yeah. Well, let me circle back to that question. what's wrong with preserving your way of life.
So yeah, it's like, so I'm asking you, why do people not like progressives? So now conversely, why is it that, I mean, you and I don't really like the conservative movement?
I guess, I don't know. I mean, just, I don't like the things that they do, I guess. You know what I mean? It just seems, man, that's tricky.
Well, I think it depends on what like extreme you take it to, though.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
Like what policy you're talking about?
Yeah.
Because like you and I, Danny, have talked about this a lot. Like fiscal conservatism is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not try and save our money?
Yeah.
Why not try and lower taxes? You know, but also why not take care of our people? Take care of our poor,
Yeah.
our homeless, our veterans, whatever it might be. So it's
just a lack of middle ground. That's like what
That's
every
exactly
argument
right.
comes back to. Everything we talk about, just like there's no middle ground on anything.
And the
It's
more you
so
talk
annoying.
about it, because like, don't let me speak out of turn here, Danny, but you're more of a conservative,
Yeah.
not in the.
I'd say I'm more like in the middle, though.
Yeah,
because-
he's definitely
and
not.
I think there are more people in the middle
Oh, for
by
sure.
far.
I
and there's
agree.
a lot of
I'm
really loud
totally-
people on either end.
Right.
You know.
But you don't
Right,
realize
so-
that you're in the middle until you start talking with someone face to face, you know what I mean, about an issue.
Right,
Not a big issue, not abortion,
right.
about an issue.
Yeah, you could go up to somebody and you could think that you were really conservative.
Right.
And you could go up to someone and they could be a white supremacist and
Right.
they're like, I think that these people are terrible, they're wrong, let's crucify blacks and whatnot. And
Right.
you're like, whoa, maybe I'm a liberal. And then you go up to a liberal and start talking about gun control and they're like, hey, we should get all the guns and round them up. And then you're like, whoa, maybe I'm not a liberal.
Right.
Right? And so it's like there's so many of us that are in the middle. I'm completely in the middle. I can normally see both sides, except for a lot of this stuff lately. I'd probably sound like a quote-unquote libtard, but
Nah. You know, it was at the height of 2016. When I get really, I don't know, frustrated with the topic, I usually will write about it.
uh-huh.
And I wrote a little op-ed piece, and I
Right.
actually called it The Forgotten Continuum. I don't know if I've ever shown it to either one of you.
Is the Forgotten
No.
Continuum going to be a Warped Tour this year?
Yeah, it's a great name. Yeah, but it basically talks about that we probably agree on a lot more than we think we do. We just need to stop talking about the big issues that will never be solved.
All right.
You know, stop talking about abortion. It's never going to be solved. You know, you might get it with Kavanaugh in there. You might get it. They might overturn Roe v. Wade, but then 10 years from now, it's going to go back.
Right.
It's never going to be solved. Just let it be. Let it be at the state level where it's a little more consistent.
That's a good idea.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you start talking about just regular daily issues,
Right.
yeah, I think you
Got a lot more in common that way.
yeah.
What are some things that you think that 20, 30, 40 years from now people will look back and say, "Oh man, I was on the wrong side of history."
The wall.
You think?
Yeah.
What if we're on the wrong side of history?
I mean, what would that look like?
I don't know.
Well, what defines wrong, though? Just
Yeah, I
based
know,
on
right? That's
if things go the wrong way, you could have been right.
I know.
No,
then you
and it's
can
not
view it as
necessarily
wrong.
about who wins.
Yeah.
It's about at 20, 30, 40 years from now, what is looked at as moral or immoral, right? We can look back and say slavery was immoral without a doubt.
Yeah.
And many, many states are now trying to amend their constitutions because indentured servitude is still in there.
Yeah.
Including ours.
Including ours in Utah. They're
Utah's.
trying to get rid of it. That you can have slavery if someone's committed a crime. So they're trying to remove that again because it is immoral. So I think when we look back now, we'll look at the wall and say that was the dumbest thing because why? You and I, Danny, talked about this so much. We are in a global economy, a global world. It's just a matter of time before it's
We
all
recognize it.
It's all one world.
It is a global.
Especially when the aliens come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
unless our economy goes back to just straight up like we're trading tobacco for
Total siloed
Yeah.
economies.
I don't have
and
anything to trade. Oh no.
you know, and that's what
blood
I
and
mean.
semen.
Frankly, that's what made America great.
Blood
You
and
know?
semen?
Yeah, blood and semen and cotton. You know, so
Well,
and tobacco.
and tobacco.
And furs.
And furs.
And the Chinese.
Pelts.
And the Chinese. And the Irish. Yeah, look, I don't know. I just think that... if looking back, I think that's one. What else?
I think gays.
You did not mean that. How you said it.
I
Gays,
know,
man.
The gay issue.
Yeah,
Like the way they're treated.
the persecution of gays,
Right.
The fact that we even have to have the discussion of allowing them to be married.
Some people are pissed that we even would refer to it as persecution. In your opinion, both of you, is it anything less?
Well, what else would you define persecution as?
Ask a hardcore conservative.
We were just
who
telling
was-
them the truth.
Well, who else?
Yeah.
Who else has been persecuted that you can look at and compare treatment?
Black people,
Yeah, I mean, so
where legislation is written against them.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
and some of them were killed, just
Yeah.
like people have been killed because they're. I mean, people have been killed for every reason, but
Right.
not allowed to, have
Frequent a cake shop.
Yeah, I mean, share the same rights as everybody else around them. I
Right.
guess. So,
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. When people, if you really get down to the meat of what the gay rights movement is, to have the same rights as a spouse would have in a heterosexual relationship.
Right.
How horrible would it be to be with someone for 20 years, your lifetime partner, and you can't see them in the hospital?
Right. That's dumb.
You don't have power of attorney.
Right.
It's horrible. And those are the issues that usually turn people.
Right.
When you start, if you can show a little empathy for that situation and say, how would that be?
Right.
Because the government wouldn't give you a piece of paper. You're not allowed to see your loved one die. You're not allowed to make decisions about their well-being.
Right.
Horrible.
I mean, don't you feel like it's gotten a lot better though?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. For
It
sure.
definitely has, because of the progressive movement.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm just saying.
And
that-
against a lot of churches' wishes.
yeah. When you look back on in 100 years, and they're teaching the gay movement or the
Yeah.
gay rights movement in history, people will probably look back and say, "Oh,
I can imagine living in a
These-
world where that wasn't allowed.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like looking back to the 60s for us.
Well,
Right,
that's exactly
you know.
what I was just gonna say. The
Like-
segregation stuff.
Yeah, you're like
'Cause-
look, racism is still real in the country.
Yeah.
But we look back and we're like, why would we not want? What's the point of separate schools? I don't
why
understand.
Why
that.
can't we share a restroom or a?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, right? To us,
or
it makes
drinking fountain?
To us, it makes zero sense. Like it's not even in our.
Does not compute.
Well,
Right.
Lynching wasn't even outlawed until the 60s,
Right now.
man.
No.
It's right now.
So it was.
thought it was outlawed
we
in the
talked about
60s.
it on a podcast that they just made it a federal crime to lynch. Oh, what was the wording? Anyway, Cory Booker and Kamala Harris just finally
Oh, yeah.
passed it. The two
Yeah.
black people in the
Yeah.
Senate.
Well, it takes two black guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it just barely passed after like 200 failed attempts. It's still murder.
Yeah.
But a lynch is a mob of people who kill someone for a reason that's not justified
Yeah.
with no due process.
Let's have ourselves
So,
a hang-in.
Yes,
you know.
that due process was the issue there. You know,
I don't know. My wife the other day was saying, or we were watching a movie or something. She said, "Man, it'd be awesome to live in the 50s." I'm like, really?
Like
if you're white,
and you're
I mean,
like,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
for me,
it
but-
totally would be. You'd have to do everything I said, and
yeah, a warm meal.
It'd be
I
awesome
could,
for me.
yeah, because I could backhand you, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
work 35 hours a week. Yeah, yeah.
Make me a sandwich.
It is weird that things just don't compute like that, though.
Yeah.
Now
I mean, we idealize things in movies and stuff, and not to say my wife wasn't being cognizant of what
Sure.
really went down, but
no.
but it's like, I'm like, you think about that, we don't think about how weird it would be to live in a situation like that when there are other human beings that aren't allowed to do basic things,
Right.
like
Use a drinking fountain
how
or
dare
walk on the sidewalk.
how dare you sit next to me on a bus?
Right. I can't
You know?
believe you walked down the sidewalk.
Officer.
Yeah.
She sat next to me on the bus.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, that's the crazy thing is it's still
boy
happening, which is
carted her
so mind blowing that this stuff's still happening with people getting the police called on them for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I honestly think the Mexico issue, and well, not even Mexico. It's Central and South America, right?
Yeah,
That
because there's another caravan coming from Honduras.
I think we'll look back at that and people will be like, why did we not want to let the people in?
It's a mega caravan this time.
I'm sure it is.
It's the caravan.
I'm sure it is, Hannity.
Trump said it. He's like, it's like 5 times bigger than the last caravan. Also, he's good with technology, apparently. I don't know if you heard him say that. But
it's going to be easy to look back and be like, why didn't we want to let these people in? They wanted to come here to work.
Yeah. Well, do you feel like anybody in the government wants to come up with like a legit reform on immigration? So
I don't know. It doesn't.
We should be able to let them in. And I think it should be in an orderly manner, right? I don't think we should just let people flow over, but they should be able to. The immigration process is horrible,
right?
Right.
Look, if you can pack 19,000 people into the Vivint Smart Home Arena for a Jazz game inside 45 minutes, then we should be able to get people through the border freaking quick.
Yeah.
What's your name? Here's your fingerprint.
I mean, they're for the most part can be contributing members of our society, right? So it's like
no, it should be. I am totally pro amnesty. I'm not saying that people shouldn't be documented. I'm documented. I have a social security card. I'm fingerprinted. Just do the same thing.
Under the radar.
I don't know if I'm fingerprinted.
I had to get printed.
I did for work.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I had to get printed for something in the FBI. But
what?
Oh,
it was like when I was traveling outside the U.S., the FBI wanted my fingerprints for something. It was really weird. Anyway, weird. I just
I don't know if we're getting the whole story.
Hold on, are you a secret agent?
The
FBI sent me overseas.
I can neither confirm nor deny. We got to take a break.
Wait a minute. Why don't you?
Chris Hansen.
No, dang it, that's the wrong one.
Take a seat.
Take a seat.
Go ahead and take a seat. Take a seat right over there.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, I'm pro amnesty. We should track people. Everybody should be documented so they pay taxes. We know where you are, just like they know where we are.
You know what?
It doesn't matter what you think.
Sorry.
It's true.
Except my vote does.
I don't even know if it matters how you vote.
Yeah. Sorry. Every time I go to the polling place, this is what goes through my head.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even vote this last time around because I was just like, "What's the point?"
Yeah. Well, I did get into it with someone on Facebook about the Electoral College, and I shouldn't say got into it. We just had a discussion. It was very cordial, but he was confused by what the Electoral College is for. Mm-hmm. He thought that the Electoral College was used for representation as well. And so, people...
They're really out of whack, then.
The Electoral College is only used for presidential elections, not used for congressional elections, nothing else, just presidential.
Yeah.
That debate about it is a totally different episode, but it just should be noted that it has nothing to do with your congressman or your representative. So, that's all.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we have Danny's crazy story, something about a Burt brother. We have Onion and InfoWars. We have random headlines. Today's random headlines: cardboard, fire, and doorbells. When we come back, Bryan will juggle sandwiches.
Maybe we can ask private citizens to guard the border. Yeah, vigilantes who would agree to do our job for the adrenaline rush that comes from having a tiny taste of authority over your fellow man. And all we're paying them is bullets and beer.
Men, our negative energy has been harnessed to help keep Springfield's borders secure from Ogdenvillians. But first, our group needs a name that evokes America's proud history of citizens rising up to defend our way of life.
The Klan?
Well, there are no bad ideas, but let's keep trying.
The Nazis.
Okay, you stop trying.
Hey, how about the Star-Spangled Goofballs?
Goofballs it is. I'm sorry to say that this poorly conceived patrol carried out by a group of rank amateurs has somehow been a failure.
Yeah, those Barney Jacks are crafty. One of them handcuffed me to this tree.
It's not a tree, Chief. That's a street sign. You just looped your belt around it when you were changing your pants.
Okay, I'm hearing lots of problems, but no solutions.
This immigration problem is bigger than we thought. We need a way to keep these people out of our community. What can we do to keep one group of people away from another group of people? You little... I'll kill you! Go! That's it. We'll build a fence.
Fence, 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 fence.
All right, who here knows how to build a wall?
I know how to hire guys to build a wall.
Such as?
The Bally Jacks?
Yeah, right.
Okay, they can help us build a wall because they're good at it. But then those good-for-nothings have to go.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
What do you got?
Oh, I just had to burp.
Cool.
Ew.
Yeah.
All right, I have 3 random headlines, but before that, this isn't a random headline because it was all over the news locally here today. I don't know if it made it nationally, but I just want to talk about it really quick,
okay,
and just say how stupid this person is. The girl. Are you familiar?
Oh, dude, the
with
blind thing,
the Bird Box challenge.
yeah.
There's 2. There were 2 today
in
Utah.
2?
There were 2. I saw another one on the way over here.
Really?
Yes.
All right. So, girl blindfolds herself with her beanie hat, and while she's driving, and her friend tells her which way to turn. She loses control and crashes her car.
Is that the challenge? You have to drive.
Have you seen Bird Box?
Yeah, but I didn't know what I've heard there's a challenge. I didn't know.
No,
I just thought people were walking around.
Technically, yes, they are. And people are walking into traffic and poles and
yeah.
shit.
It is stupid, but this is
like
doubly
Pokemon Go?
stupid.
Yeah, no, this is like... The real Bird Box challenge is to do what they did in the movie, which is to follow the GPS.
Yeah.
But they're not... Yeah. 2 in Utah, people crashed into poles and shit.
Just don't
be an idiot.
I can't comprehend how stupid that... I hope that girl loses her license forever. Like, she should never be allowed to drive again.
No.
She should have to take the bus for the rest of her life. And then she can do the Bird Box challenge while she's on the bus.
I want Sandy Bullock to show up at the hospital and slap her in the face. Just walk out.
Listen, bitch.
Dumbassery
Listen.
is afoot.
All right. Well, speaking of car incidents or cars going fast, or I don't know, anyway, this is out of Texas.
Oh, boy.
Texas. I'm really sweary today. Oh, wow.
Are you going to read it?
This has lots of puns. The stiff arm of the law is taking on a whole new meaning in Texas.
Is a football player becoming a cop?
No. Damn it. Better. So, in an effort to deter speeding, the police force
I've heard this one today.
is putting out cardboard deputies.
Yep.
So, cardboard cutouts of deputies holding up their speed
I've seen that here before.
Radar. Actually, yeah, and
Really?
I've seen... I think it was
in
on
cop cars.
They leave cop cars. I've seen them do
on the
that.
trip to California in the desert. I swear there's a car with a mannequin in it.
No, I've seen that for sure.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen that. That'd be funny. You're driving along in the desert in the middle of nowhere, and there's a cardboard cop
Just standing there.
What the hell?
See, does he need help?
It blows over.
Just like slam on your brakes, like, "Are you okay, man?" He blows away.
Has a little speaker. Get back in your car.
Anyway, apparently it's working really, really well for this Texas town or this Austin.
Dude, all I have to see is a car that could remotely be a cop car.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
my sister has a white Dodge Charger, and I drove it once.
oh,
And
frustrating, huh?
No, it was hilarious.
Oh, I thought you were going to like people driving slow in front of you.
Yeah, they do, but what's really fun is to anyone that passes you, just run up behind them super quick. They slam on their brakes. Oh man, it was hilarious.
What about the cars coming toward you? Do you see their car pitch forward?
Yeah.
Like every time they hit the brakes?
You gotta use your e-brake to slow down.
Yeah,
They
no
can't
brake
tell.
lights, no pitching forward. E-brake.
You know, if they really wanted to scare people, they'd have the cop like pointing a gun at him, not just a speed.
Yeah,
like,
or like two,
like a rifle.
a cardboard cutout of a cop holding a gun at another guy.
or like him lunging across the street or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So apparently, it's cut down speeding quite significantly here
That's awesome.
outside of Austin. So
Good.
yeah. the second one here. These are all out of the Huffington Post today for some reason. They had a lot of good
I
stuff.
heard this one too.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Sorry.
Dick. Man.
Am I supposed to come clean slate to this podcast, or
I try to get ones that people
I just never
haven't
look
heard.
at Spencer's screen until he tells me to.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. Whatever you want to do.
Ventura, California.
Yeah.
A firefighter buys 6 smoke machines. 6.
Count them.
He tried it
6.
with one, but it wasn't enough.
So he went. One wasn't enough.
That's
He
how-
knew he needed 6 times.
That's
as much.
that's how my first marriage was too. It's like I knew one wasn't enough, so I joined the FLDS church and
got 5 more.
just anyway. So this guy's a firefighter. He gets 6 smoke machines.
Yeah.
Sets them off.
Okay.
Tells his girlfriend that he is going to the store to get groceries.
Okay.
Smoke starts billowing from the attic.
What are you doing?
The fire department shows up. He shows up dressed as a firefighter
with the mask on?
With a mask on, comes up to her and proposes. So she's out in the front yard thinking that her house is burning down.
Oh my
is
gosh.
coming down in flames, all as an elaborate proposal.
This is called a backfire.
I mean, what?
Wow.
Dick.
And she said no. No, I'm just joking.
Have you seen the one? Have you seen the proposal where the? Oh man, it's a black guy.
What's that supposed to mean?
No, it's relevant. It's relevant.
Okay.
And he's at like a gas station, and he gets pulled over, and cops like have him at gunpoint.
Oh, I have seen
And his
that.
girlfriend like gets in front of him between the cop
Right.
and him, which is just completely special. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then he turns around and proposes,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
was all like a. Maybe they didn't have their guns out, but they were being jerks. You
Right,
know.
right.
So it's relevant. The race is relevant. It really is.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, yeah,
but,
I get it.
Yeah, she got in between him and the cop. I was like, that's man.
It wouldn't
that's
have been
love right
relevant
there.
had I inserted that into the firefighter story.
No,
Like, a man, he's black. Like,
he purchased 6 fog machines. What the hell is a black guy doing with 6
That's
fog machines?
horrible.
that is messed up.
That's good.
All right. The next one, also out of California. This one also has a bit of a video here, but someone's front porch security camera caught a man doing this.
Case of trespassing.
Yeah, this one takes the cake.
Oh.
A man was caught on security camera licking the doorbell of a home in Salinas.
Come
yeah,
on.
police say this ding-dong spent about 3 hours licking,
Nice.
filling
That
around
was a
his
good
ass.
one.
Skills.
Good
Also took
pun.
An extension cord from the front yard and dropped it not too
Oh.
far
He's
away.
just going at it.
The homeowners who were out of
Okay.
He's doing it for like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, he was licking it at one angle, so you see the front of his face and his tongue licking the doorbell.
Well, he was staring at the camera
Well,
too.
he's staring at the camera, and then it cuts to the news anchors, and it goes back to the camera, and he's facing the other way, so you see the back of his head still making out with the doorbell.
Well, he was doing it for like 2 hours. Or
Was he
something.
really?
Yeah, something like that.
That is PCP.
And the kids were home alone, I think.
And your kids die too.
It will kill you.
Yeah.
He was
So-
on like bath salts
So it
or
was
something.
the best part is like that was their old school doorbell, and they now have a ring.
Right.
It was videoing him licking the old one.
I want to meet this guy.
It's just a random house too.
What would you do if that was your doorbell? Would you like take a screwdriver to it, just take it out, or would
the,
you like
the old doorbell? I mean, now after he licked it?
yeah after he licked it?
Oh, yeah.
Throw some bleach on it. What would
Yeah.
you?
I just hit it with a sledgehammer and
Well, they caught him. Like, does it say how they caught him?
What's the crime?
I thought I heard.
What's the crime?
Yeah, I think
said he
was
could
dead.
face misdemeanor charges for petty theft. I don't know what, and prowling.
I mean,
Prowling, okay.
the dude was like strung out,
Oh, for sure.
and
Really?
well, I was just like, but he was like going through the neighborhood doing weird stuff.
You've never Googled doorbell licking porn before?
How
That's
many-
a really big fetish.
It
surprised.
is, yeah. Number 1 on Pornhub. What is the? I wonder how many he did.
Doorbells? Or
Yeah.
you think he
And
went?
why is he
you think
staring
went
right into the lens?
I
further
know.
with the doorbell? I guess at least it
He's
was
not tall enough.
I guess it was limited to licking, so that's could have gotten
Yeah.
We
weird.
don't know for sure.
So just be aware that you never know what's happening on your doorbell.
I just read that line from the woman. It says, "I thought, oh boy, that is just weird."
Yeah, well, that's a great quote, right? Do you really think that's what she said when she saw it?
She sounds like, "What the fuck is that?"
Jeepers. That guy's weird.
Oh my, I've never
man
seen
is
such a
weird.
thing.
Something's got in that man.
We're all sitting in the South. I do declare that
There has been another murder.
there has been another murder.
My recommendation to you guys is to bleach your doorbell often.
Or put poop on it.
That's actually that is a story that I skipped out on. Another random
poop one?
Yeah.
Never skip the poop story.
Somebody smeared a bunch of poop on a park bench before a party that their kid was going to.
What?
They knew that there was going to be a kid's birthday party there, so they smeared poop all over it. Anyway, I don't.
To what end?
I don't know, man. Why does anyone smear poop?
It's true.
You know,
That's true.
A party that their kid was going to be at?
Yeah,
Is
I
it?
think so.
I was at a KO.
That's why.
I was at a KOA campground
Oh well, there's going to be smeared poop at a
years
KOL
and
camp
years
camp.
ago,
Nah.
and
It's
someone
actually
smeared poop
standard issue.
all over the showers. The whole.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. How did they have that much shit? I don't know. But yeah, the guy. Was
Have
in
you ever
there-
tried to smear your poo? I mean,
No.
you'd be surprised how far it goes.
It spreads out. It spreads out.
It's like oil
It's
paint.
like an oil paint. It just keeps going. Get
Never
some
ends.
medium in there. Spread it out.
Mixed media assemblage.
Speaking of which, are these your oil paintings up here on the wall?
Yeah,
I'm
we've talked
noticing?
about them before.
Yeah,
They're moving, aren't they?
I paint them with feces.
I really like that one. You like
Put
that one?
some pigment in your poop?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
You eat,
No, I like
you
them all.
eat the right things, you know, and you can get black and green and yellow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, yeah, we've talked about it before because I feel like Ferris Bueller. You know,
Yeah.
when they're staring at the art when I'm
Yeah.
in Spencer's area here
Yeah.
because I like that.
It's cool, man. I
Yeah.
like it. I've been dabbling a little bit in oil painting myself.
It's
fun.
it's relaxing.
I
like
dabble.
painting.
I dabble.
Yeah. So that's
That's
the
it.
random headlines.
Sweet. We're going to head into Danny's crazy story then.
I wish I had music for this.
With every guest, as you might know by now, we ask them to share a crazy story from their life, kind of their go-to, you know, that anyone who knows them moderately well might know this story. So, you ready, Danny?
Yeah. Which one did we decide on?
Apparently, you're telling us two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got two.
Dose stories.
Well,
Start with the...
he talked about Burt Brothers before we went into the break. Should we start with that?
let's
or-
start with Burt Brothers.
All right.
They do it
So,
better.
explain what Burt Brothers is, who they are.
Burt Brothers is
Intimately, give us some personal details about the
they,
Burt Brothers.
They get up in my business regularly. My car's business, that is. So, they're just like a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
Do they do to your car what that man did to that doorbell?
They probably do.
They might.
Every time I leave, it's another $1,200.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm paying for something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so they're, I don't know how many there are, but they're throughout the Wasatch Front, I believe.
Right. Here in Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you could take your cars there to get, randomly fixed on most things. They sell tires. They
What's a shop
change
that's
your oil.
everywhere?
What?
Is Tunex everywhere?
Yes.
Jiffy Lube,
There's
is
a
that
lot
another
of them
Utah
here.
thing?
Yeah, like, it's just an overall mechanic shop.
think Tunex
just an
might
auto
be-
shop.
But it's kind of like, it's kind of big compared to a lot of mechanics. It is a chain, kind of.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back when I worked at Domino's Pizza, Bryan and I worked there together.
Yep.
A guy came in selling coupons.
Heroin.
Like,
Oh.
well, a coupon book.
Before that.
And I was like, yeah, I'll buy those coupons. They're for Burt Brothers to get,
Was it just Burt Brothers?
Yeah, it was just Burt Brothers. And it was to coupons for oil changes or tire rotation, stuff like that.
Oh, were
Yeah.
you were you paying for him to go to basketball camp or something?
Probably.
Probably.
But-
no, it was right after the perfume guy.
So I bought it. I don't know, it cost me like $30 or something, and it got me like 2 oil changes and tire rotations. So one day, I could have sworn, Bryan, you were there with me, but apparently I was there with someone else.
I've been to
But-
Burt Brothers with you,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I was there
Yeah.
this day.
Okay. So I go into one of the locations. I don't know if I should probably mention which location.
Doesn't matter.
Nah, whatever. Undisclosed location. And
Is it the one in Kaysville?
No.
There's not one in Kidsville.
There's one in Farmington.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that one, which probably narrowed it down to like 2 other ones.
Yeah, there's only 4.
And I take my car and I give this guy, the guy at the counter, which apparently is like the proprietor of this.
He's like the
location.
franchisee or the manager, the GM.
And I give him my coupons, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing those." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I didn't make any money off that deal. It was a bad deal, so I'm not going to honor those." I was like, I paid for these, right? I paid for the coupons. It's not like I just got these out of the newspaper." He's like, "Yeah, but I mean, I was totally, run through the ringer on this, so I'm not going to do that." I'm like, yeah, you are, because I paid money for these, and it says I get a free oil change, so you're gonna do it. And he's like, "Yeah, whatever. This is the last one, though." I'm like, I don't know if you know how this works.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, do you remember anything else from that story?
No, it just is like a classic Danny story, though. It seems like something that
happens to me all the time, man.
It's just funny how like indignant the guy was about it.
Just like, yeah, he just out of hand dismissed it.
No, I'm not doing that.
No,
I'm not honoring those
Thank
here.
you. Have a good day.
Jeez. I didn't cut these out of the county paper. I paid for this, sir. Yeah, I didn't make any money, so I'm not going to do it. That's just so ridiculous.
That's too bad, man.
Yeah.
So I just wouldn't leave.
Right.
That's what I had to. I just had to stand there at the counter and not leave.
You just stare at him?
Eventually, he just agreed to do it. But
you just stare at him for a minute. Just in
he's
disbelief.
very upset that he agreed to do it. So, anyways.
He didn't even change your oil?
Probably not.
Just like unscrewed the filter a little bit, then screwed it back on.
Reset the mileage.
Yeah.
Sent me on my way.
So that's the Burt Brothers story.
Yeah. What was the other one?
The New York.
Yeah.
New
So
York.
I spent a couple years in New York.
It was the longest 2 years of my life.
And I had me and a male companion were driving down a street, and I hit a girl with my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was,
Was it like a school bus?
So
Was it a school girl?
She probably went to school.
Yeah, I mean,
somewhere.
what is a school girl now? Like a girl who goes to school?
I don't know. Google it. Be careful, though. Use safe search.
Yeah. So I just like flipped a Yui down the street, and I was coming down, and what, dude?
I was hoping you were going to say, "Yeah, I flipped her off. I drove
And
away, and I don't know what happened to her, honestly."
Good story.
Was this Brooklyn?
No, this was out on Long Island,
Island?
just outside of Brooklyn or Queens.
Okay.
And so I turn around. I'm not even going the speed limit. I'm probably going like 15, 17 miles an hour, and I'm going past this bus that was obviously at some point a school bus, but it's been painted all white, and someone had customized it at some point.
Did it say "Da Cool Bus" on the side?
I don't know. And so I was going past it. No lights were on or anything. And this girl came darting out right in front of me.
Right.
And she saw me and tried to stop, but she was running pretty fast, so she couldn't really stop it.
It was like,
fast enough.
and
I swerved.
It's like Wile E. Coyote, like on her heels.
Yeah, and I swerved to miss her, but she just kind of fell into the side of my car.
I've been told that when a moose runs in front of you, you're not supposed to swerve. You're supposed to just hit it,
gun it, and run.
Hit it straight on. So maybe
it goes over the top.
Maybe you should have hit that girl.
Well,
gun and run.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is with a moose, if they're running, or a deer, right?
Yeah.
Let's say they're running from your right side across.
Yeah.
Your instinct is to swerve away from them, which is the direction they're moving.
You should cut across.
You should run. You should turn towards them, and they'll probably pass you.
So now, if I would have done this, I probably would have killed the girl.
So don't always follow those rules.
That's for meese only.
For meese, yeah.
But anyway, so she got clipped by kind of like the side view mirror of my car.
Yeah.
I went back a couple days later. It was like a church bus. I think that's what it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you said that was a church bus.
Yeah. Full disclosure. So there's these guys there from the church, and they're in the neighborhood trying to like get everybody to come to church or whatever. And full disclosure, I was on business of another church.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's been clear. I mean, some of your listeners may not know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so and they hated us, and they're like,
was it Seventh Day Adventist?
No, I actually don't know what.
You should have taken your tag off so they didn't know. So you got out and like, are you okay?
Yeah, we ran over there, and she's obviously hurt, right?
Yeah.
I clipped her pretty good, but, she was kind of sitting up and just kind of crying. Obviously, that's scary. She's like a 12-year-old girl, right?
Probably scared more than it hurt.
Yeah. So I went over to her house a couple days later. She was running around the sprinklers with her, like, sisters and stuff.
You just drove back by?
Well, no, we went to go say hi to see how she was doing. We talked to her parents, be like, listen, like...
Because you're a nice guy.
That was messed up.
You're a nice guy. Yeah.
And see how she's doing. I didn't invite her to church. I didn't think that was appropriate at the time.
Well, now that I've hit you.
Yeah. Let me heal you.
Do you know where you're going when you... do you know where you're going if I would have plowed through you and killed you? That's what you should have done.
Yeah. Let's talk about this.
Had that happen? Yeah. Santa Claus don't visit the funeral homes, little buddy.
Anyway, so they were really nice to us, and she seemed fine, and they're like, she's good, it was whatever. So a few months later, I get called down to the office, which is in Brooklyn, and turns out my mom got this thing in the mail saying that we were being sued for like $3 million.
They sent it to your personal...
They sent it to my mom, like home.
Yeah.
Not to our mission. So I was on a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
You were 20 years old.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so they sent it to my mom, and my mom's like, what? And I don't think I even told her about the incident, right? So...
happened a lot, so...
Yeah, it happens.
Your mom gets this and like, what? What is he doing down there? I
Yeah.
thought he was supposed to be proselyting. Here he is playing
kids
Grand
down.
Theft Auto.
She was 5 points. But anyways, so we were being sued, but I mean, just like any other legal situation, it took forever.
Yeah.
So
you had been home for like
a year.
Yeah, at least.
So this happened like halfway through my mission, and I'd been home for a year. So like 2 years later, I get flown back out to New York by some law firm to be deposed, and it was the craziest experience I ever had because I was just sitting there, and obviously this like kind of greaseball lawyer had found out that I was probably being supported by the church. So we can get a lot of money out of them.
Yep.
And my lawyer was this woman who was not having any of it.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're in there in this deposition, and she deposes the parents and the girl first, and she's just like digging a hole for him. I can see it. Like all these questions. Am I close enough to the mic here?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. And I can tell what she's doing, right? And the other lawyer's just like getting so annoyed, and he's just like looks tired, and just like
he's like,
what am I doing here?
Why did I do this pro bono?
And then when it became his turn to ask me questions, she said objection to every question that he asked, literally every question, and he was getting so frustrated. And after a while, he was like, "Do you really have to do that every time?" She's like, "Yes, I do. Continue."
Because in a deposition, you still have to answer the question,
right? Well, she said objection. Go ahead and answer.
Yeah, in a deposition, you can object, but you still have to answer the question.
Yeah, she objected to the way he worded every question.
Right, yeah.
Objection, wording, continue.
It's just so that if it ever goes to court, she can say to the judge, I objected to that. And
but he didn't do that. He didn't do that to...
Probably his second deposition or something.
But he was just like, by the end, it went on for like 2 hours, and he was just so tired and frustrated, and my lawyer just ate him apart.
Yeah, she had a Red Bull before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then like...
Wait, who's lawyer? Like,
so
is it a personal lawyer or a church lawyer?
Curtin McConkie is the lawyer of the church.
Okay,
of the Mormon Church, and they outsourced her or whatever.
I just wasn't sure if I wasn't
she's
sure
a
how
local
it was all
New
working.
Yorker,
If
dude.
you were getting sued or the church was being sued,
so
kinda...
my mom turned it over to the church. She's like, "Oh, what is this?" And they're like, "Oh, don't worry about that. We'll handle this."
Okay.
And so,
yeah,
don't talk about it. No. So and then she, so the church started taking.
Okay, because I was just wondering, because I would imagine that the church would pay for a really good lawyer.
The church has,
and I would imagine
retainer.
that you wouldn't be able to afford, I guess, what the church would.
Right.
So
And
this
she
was a really good lawyer.
She was obviously a very good lawyer. She was a local New York lawyer, right? She's not affiliated with the church personally in any way.
Right.
They hired her firm, and
she's just the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really weird because they took me into their law offices like the night before, like after hours, and they were running me through like, okay, what are you going to say when they ask you this? And let me ask you, and like her boss.
Damn it, Danny, you gotta be ready.
and like her boss was like asking me questions about. So tell me about your driving history, and he just went through all these questions I would never even think about asking myself.
Yeah.
But like,
do you ever know what happened?
So like a couple years later, I got another thing in the mail saying it was still going.
Oh my gosh!
And then a couple
so
years.
This is like 4 years later. You get another notice.
Yeah. And then a couple years after that,
So
I get.
She's got to be like 18 at this point.
Yeah, I get another thing in the mail saying I think they gave up. I think they could have. The church could have settled for less money than they paid on defending it.
Maybe.
But
out of principle,
I think out of principle, they're like, nah, no.
We're just gonna load her with paperwork.
Yeah, and then I think they gave up on suing our church, so they started to try and sue the church that had the bus there.
Oh my god! Like, did they claim she had injuries that were long
So
lasting?
it was like $1 million per parent, and then $1 million for her for emotional, and like she didn't have any lasting injuries.
Right. So it was all mental stuff.
Yeah, like you had like a sprained ankle or something, and
yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, it's all.
I'm gonna start suing people for emotional damage.
Yeah.
Just like
You can't. Yeah,
that wasn't very nice. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that
sue
hurt
you.
my feelings.
mental health is real. Okay?
Do you think I could sue my ex-wife
Just
for
as real
emotional
as anything
damage? Is that a thing? Can you do that?
Now that your divorce is settled, no. Unless you have new evidence.
She's never need money anyway.
Well, there you go. You have any other crazy stories you want to share?
I witnessed.
It's a yes or no question.
Well, yeah, I got lots of other stories.
Oh, okay.
Me and and another companion.
Object.
We're on.
That is annoying.
We're on a subway platform, but it's the ones that were above the ground. You not want me to share this?
No. I just know where you're going.
And we were at one end, and there was this crazy-looking woman on the opposing platform, and she walked all the way to the end, looked around to make sure no one was watching her, but she didn't think to look to see if there was anyone on the opposing platform. We were like 20 feet away from her. Anyway, so she looks around, she pulls up her skirt, she's not wearing any underwear, and she just hangs it over the side of the platform and deuces right down through the tracks. And we just saw the whole thing, and we just didn't know what to do. Should we say something?
Oh man.
Anyways, and we just kind of didn't know what to say to each other. I don't know.
There's no bathrooms aren't abundant.
Well, New York has a public bathroom problem.
Yes.
It's not like I haven't ever taken matters into my own hands.
Right.
When I was out walking around.
Right.
Trying to find a bathroom.
But you looking around. You make a 360.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or find an actual hidden place.
Right.
You've pooped on the street?
I've never pooped.
You pooped
in
on the
public.
streets of New York?
No.
Oh.
I've used bottles though.
For poop?
No.
Wow. Oh, okay.
I was like, that is
Sometimes you have
clenched.
to.
That is. I knew you were uptight, but I didn't know your anus was that clenched. I mean, wow, that's impressive.
Anyways,
that's horrible. Wait, I got another one that I just thought of that
Yep.
I remember you telling me. You were shot at.
No, wasn't me. It was one of the guys I lived with.
He was shot at?
Yeah, he was shot like through the arm.
What? Wait, I don't know that one. I remember the motorcycle incident.
Motorcycle incident.
Someone was driving by on a motorcycle in it was like an Uzi
Oh, there was a shooting down the street.
in Brooklyn.
Yeah, in Brooklyn, and then we could hear it, and then these guys came flying around the corner. They obviously were the guys who had done the shooting, and they kind of slowed. They were on a bullet bike, and this guy sitting on the back of the bullet bike with a gun.
Yeah.
And he slowed down and looked right at us, and I was like,
You froze. Didn't your companion tackle you?
No,
Get down!
No, we were just we just kind of stood there.
Well, I guess if it's my time.
And then he slowed down, looked at us, and then just sped away really fast.
That's crazy.
That was really weird. That was probably the craziest.
Wait, I don't know
thing
about the
saw.
person getting shot in the arm while you were there.
He was just in my. So they were out late at night, later than they were supposed to be, and they walked through I guess there's two gangs that were about to get into some mischief, and someone fired a shot across the street and accidentally hit this guy in the arm. It was a 22, went right through his left forearm.
Oh, now I remember this story.
Oh, a 22.
And,
that's okay.
So but nothing happened. It was just like a little piercing went in one end, went out the other.
22,
Just had to go get it glued
so
shut.
through.
Like an airsoft.
Yeah, but then the guy's gang members found out that they shot a missionary and they turned him in. It's a pretty crazy story.
Oh, yeah,
really?
now I remember that. The
Yeah.
gangs were cool with missionaries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really cool. We played a lot of handball with them.
By the way, anybody feel free to shoot Spencer with a 22.
Yeah.
So he
It's
can
fine. It's like a BB gun.
know the difference between an airsoft.
Basically.
Yeah. All right, it's time for the Onion or InfoWars.
Oh, I'm gonna be good at this.
The segment where I read a headline from the satirical news website The Onion and also a headline from the purported real news website Infowars. You guys ready?
I'm just so impressed that I knew what you were about to say, and I hit that. I mean, I know that ruins it, but that was a great transition.
We're connected. We're connected.
I know.
Good call.
Because Brian doesn't press the buttons. He
Nope.
just said it, and I pressed it because
No.
I knew what he was going to say.
Yeah. I sit over
You
here
guys
very
are
relaxed.
like one
Wow.
mind now.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You guys have
anyway.
been doing this for so long. You're
I know.
pros.
We are just so experienced. That's why I'm really bummed out that I'm not getting my government paycheck today. I mean,
Yeah.
it was going to be a lot.
Okay, headline number 1. Total internet censorship plan announced. Groups given live access to all cell phone and computers by plan set up by Obama.
Oh, sounds too easy.
Next headline. Bad news for the resistance. Sources close to Mueller are suggesting the P-tape is real, but it is hot as hell.
Okay. I would guess the
You
second
just muddied the
one,
waters. You've muddied it up. I don't know.
The second one has got to be The Onion, right?
That's what I was going to say. Second
You're
one's
right.
Onion.
The
Yeah.
second one about the P-tape is The Onion. Sometimes it's hard to find ones that are cut and dry. One about... I did leave a word out of the first one. The full headline from Infowars, the self-purported real news, says total internet censorship plan announced. Leftist groups given live access to all cell phones and computers by plan set up by Obama. Live access.
Globalist scumbags.
This isn't like, hey, they uploaded your data from your phone from today. This is live right now. They can see your camera. They're turning on the audio.
Right.
It's crazy. This is on Infowars.
The globalist Illuminati. That was Alex Jones. That was
Triple
my
Patriot
Alex
points today.
What? Are you freaking serious?
I got to order me some melatonin.
Yeah. Give me some of those wiener extenders.
What does he have? Like crushed up seashells? Something
Yeah,
like that?
Some like green tea.
Give me
mix.
some dirt in a pill. A pill capsule, please.
Yeah,
please.
dirt in a cup.
Enhances longevity.
Who was the guy that did Jimmy Stewart? Didn't he do
Which
a
one?
commercial for Extends?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Jimmy Stewart is... It's Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Stewart is...
It's the Daily Show?
No.
What? Jon Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart is...
Johnson.
Oh my gosh.
Jimmy...
It's from the old... Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
know
an
what
old
you're talking
actor.
Jerry Lewis?
No. Jimmy Stewart.
James Stewart.
From the movie with the angel wings and when the
Every time a bell rings,
yeah.
an angel gets his wing.
what is it called?
It doesn't matter.
Miracle on 34th Street?
No.
White Christmas.
What?
White Christmas?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
It's a Wonderful Life Christmas.
He wasn't alive. But anyway.
It's Jimmy Johnson, which
From
is
that
even more
Christmas-
relevant.
Yes.
From the Christmas movie?
Because both of his
Die
names
Hard?
are slang for penis.
Jimmy?
I have
Okay.
called my penis both Jimmy and my Johnson.
Ooh.
I call mine James.
I call mine James and the Giant Peach. For obvious reasons.
Man.
Randy Johnson. I don't know.
That's not funny.
You making fun of a Ranger? You making fun of a Ranger?
No, man. I respect him.
I don't think he ever played on the Rangers.
Oh,
I
didn't
thought
he?
he did.
No,
Maybe- or
he might have
played
for a second
college
on his
ball
way
in-
out.
Wait,
College
where did he
ball
play?
in Texas.
Various. Seattle and Arizona, I think, were his biggest teams.
Where did he kill
Randy
the bird?
Johnson?
Where did he kill the bird
Arizona,
with the fastball?
I think.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is
Okay.
oh my god, this is a great segue. To my next topic. I have a question for you. Are you ready for a question?
Me?
Yeah, both of you.
Yeah.
Now, you're presented with two options. You either take a guaranteed $5 million to play baseball, or you enter the NFL draft potentially being a first-round pick, but no guaranteed money. But you've already got that $5 million. Like, that $5 million is guaranteed to play baseball.
Baseball.
What do you do?
Baseball.
Baseball, man. I don't want to play football.
I think that football's an easier life, and you know why.
Concussions and
Because
stuff?
they play 17 games.
They're not guaranteed contracts,
No,
though.
you get injured, you're done.
Yes.
And
baseball-
you're going to get injured.
Baseball's tough because of the amount of games and travel.
Yes.
Yeah, man, but I can throw.
But I could throw a pigskin quarter mile. Yeah, I think I'd rather play baseball for a guaranteed $5 million.
If you're on the pitching rotation, you play once every 2 weeks.
What if you're
Well,
you
no,
paid
they play once
$5
a
million
week.
to play like left field? You know,
Dude.
pitchers are paid more.
Bullpen.
So, Kyler Murray.
Chilling in the outfield.
Have you heard of this Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray.
He is the quarterback. He's a junior for the OU Sooners.
Mm-hmm.
He's 5'11", and he was drafted number 9th pick overall in the MLB draft, Major League Baseball draft, by the Oakland A's and guaranteed a $5 million signing bonus.
He also played for Texas A&M. I'm seeing here. Played some college football for him.
He played for both. Is it Sooner?
I didn't know that.
Just on his wiki page,
From
anyway.
Bedford, but oh yeah, it is.
Sneaky Sooners.
So he's opted to drop the $5 million and enter the draft.
Wow.
But people are saying that that's crazy because he's too short and too small to be a
5'11" dude in the
quarterback.
NFL, yeah. That's
What isn't Roethlisberger like?
Yes.
Roethlisberger's huge, dude.
No, not Roth. I can't. There's no
You're talking
way.
about the dude for the Saints?
Drew Brees,
Yeah, Drew Brees.
is 6
Oh,
foot.
that's right. Roethlisberger's
and
That's short for the NFL.
But Russell Wilson, 5'11". Interesting story. He was also drafted in the MLB draft in the first round by the Texas Rangers.
So when do the respective drafts occur?
I think the NFL draft is in March or April.
Because let's say he doesn't get the deal he wants in football, can he circle back?
No. In fact, the A's are still expecting him to be at training camp, so I don't know what that means.
He accepted the deal,
Yeah.
and then also entered the NFL draft.
Right.
So he could. He's waiting to see what deal he gets from the NFL, and if it's not good, he'll stick with the A's.
No, because he has to. Spring training starts in February, late February.
Yeah, but even you could be in training while you're being
that's
drafted.
right, yeah.
What would you
know?
do?
I would play baseball because I like baseball better. And,
Football's stupid.
well, your career is longer in baseball. The only hurdle is that.
What's his position, do you know?
I don't know. Doggy, I think. The only hurdle.
I don't know, regular doggy style. Any unusual
Left
breedings?
fielder Jose Canseco playing doggy style today. Kyler Murray. It's a new position. You know, familiar?
Snoop Dogg?
I would play baseball because your career's longer, but the biggest hurdle is that the baseball has a big farm league system.
Yeah, you go down to the
true.
bees.
And
Go play for the bees.
yeah,
Yeah.
you would have to go play in the minors probably for a while.
Even
And
the best players have to.
Yeah,
right?
and you may not make
Trout
it.
had to play for the bees,
But he's guaranteed
For a while.
$5 million.
Right.
So he gets $5 million, goes and plays for the A's
and he has to go ride
development
the bus.
league.
Right,
go
and
ride
may
the bus
or may
around.
not
Yeah.
go to the pros. It just depends how he does there. But in the NFL,
If he's drafted, he's
if you're
making
drafted
$20
first
million, by the
round,
way.
not necessarily. You mean you get a
Even if
big
you're just
signing
riding the
bonus.
sideline.
Yeah.
But the league minimum is like 800,000 or something. So,
Which the league minimum in baseball is a lot lower, isn't it?
I think it's 400,000. I mean, that would be so terrible to make that. You know,
It'd be so
playing a
so
sport.
awful. Yeah, 535. Yeah, I think I'd rather play baseball. But you know, as a potential GM or coach, I wouldn't want him as on my NFL team.
Even if he's, yeah.
I wouldn't want him. I'd say you're not bought in.
That's true.
You're only doing this for the money.
That's true.
You're making tons of money either way, man. You're not bought in. I don't want you on my team.
Do they think that way, though?
I have no idea.
Probably not.
I don't think
The
so.
good ones do.
Otherwise, they wouldn't let, like, you know, people who abuse their wife and stuff still play.
and murder people.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
Wait. No, you're talking about two different things. Like
what?
Those people who murder people are also good at football. It's not that they're just in it for the money. The managers are in it for the money, but they only get money if they win.
Yeah.
As a GM or a coach, you're looking at this guy who can't make up his mind. I don't want you on my team. You're either in or you aren't.
just painted with a wide brush, though.
That's
the
how
murderer,
I
rapist.
normally do my murals, my fecal murals with the wide brush.
Like, could the A's? You know more about baseball than me. Could the A's say, like, could they give him a better offer and say you'll come right to the pros right away?
Oh no, I don't think so.
I think either one is
would
just
do
like,
that.
you know, you make the choice. We don't care. You know, like,
Yeah.
or not that they don't care, but it's like,
Look,
you
man,
know, it's up
anybody
to
can
you.
throw
We're
a
not
ball.
gonna make. We're not gonna make. Yeah, we're not gonna make special arrangements for you to try and decide.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, well, just go see if you can get to the NFL, and if not, you can come back.
Right, you're treating the MLB like the stepchild.
Yeah.
You know?
And I don't know if you knew this, but Bryce Harper is set to sign between $350 and $400 million
Yeah, I saw that.
contract this year.
Dude.
So your earning potential in baseball is
huge.
Well, it's a lot
Those
higher.
guys make a lot of money.
A lot higher.
Huge.
You know, a lot of the athletes
they play so many games, though.
Yeah, 162.
That's why you get in the pitching rotation, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Play like every
Still have
fifth
to travel.
What does Harper do?
He's
Pitchers
an
spend more
outfielder.
time golfing than they do playing baseball.
Yeah.
In the ice bath.
Got ices down
All I
or
can think of
heat
is-
it up.
What movie is Tony Danza's always in the ice bath? Is it like Angels in the Outfield?
Yeah, I
or
think
something?
so, yeah.
That's crazy. $700 million? $700 million.
For what?
Bryce Harper?
No.
No, it was like 400.
400.
Who's this one? Forget Bryce. Oh, Phillies can plan $700 million what is it?
Manny Machado?
Machado?
They have enough people watching baseball, dude. I feel like it keeps going
You know,
down.
if you listen to the podcast, you would know that we talked about this.
I've
pretty
listened to at
extensively.
least
Has baseball gone
half
up? I
of
can't
them.
remember.
No, baseball went down this year, not as substantially as
Dude,
the NBA.
basketball dropped by 25%.
Well,
26?
26. 500 over how many years?
What?
500 million.
It's a
400 million.
like 10-year contract.
Yeah,
So
it's
40
normally-
million a year.
Yeah.
Dude, for throwing a ball. Not even
And hitting.
He's catching a ball.
And hitting a ball.
What's his
He's
what's
a
good hitter. He's a
really
good-
good. Did you
yeah.
know he's
unless he's at .4, I don't care.
I don't think he's a. I don't mean, is he like Jeter good? Or who else got the huge contract? Was it A-Rod? Got a pretty big one.
Yeah, and the Angels shelled out for Albert Pujols.
Pujol.
I was watching a
And
game once and I was like,
he
freaking
sucks.
Pujols.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, what?
Okay,
Isn't anything?
Bryce Harper's Mormon.
it did say in his first 20 games after
Interesting.
receiving contact lenses, Harper hit .48. Okay,
He's
Yeah,
really
he's
good.
good.
that's really good.
Because he's Mormon.
Yeah, he's got God on his side, man.
Yeah, I guess.
.48. Okay, that's really good.
No,
Yeah.
he's
I'm at like .4 at the batting cages
On the medium.
after like an hour.
Medium pitch.
and,
was
the
same
weird
spot
thing
every
is that
time.
that's your blood to alcohol level. That's not even your.
Yeah. Well,
Hold my beer while I hit.
I think just generally I'd rather play baseball. It seems like a more chill sport, you know.
Football's too intense.
Yeah.
All that hitting, concussioning.
A lot of like
Dementia.
pent up. Yeah.
Sexual.
Sexual tension, man.
Yeah.
Just
You know, all football players are gay. You know, they just see each other out in the field.
No,
and
there's
they're like,
nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm not saying that there is.
But otherwise, you know, I don't know, some really tight pants. That's all I'm saying.
they are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Slow motion.
Good butts. What?
Not
All
really.
right.
I don't know.
Slow motion replays.
Yeah.
Speaking of good butts, I have a. I need some kind of music for this.
For your weight update?
Yeah, Spencer's weekly weight update. I did weigh myself. Have you weighed yourself?
No.
Well,
No.
turns out it's way worse than I thought.
Wait a second. So last night or a couple nights ago when we recorded, you were at 270.
I said 270, but I hadn't weighed myself.
Right.
I was guesstimating.
Just pulling numbers
Yeah.
out.
Wait a second, before you tell me, when did you weigh yourself?
This morning after I pooped.
Naked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
I'm not an amateur. Okay.
Had you shaved? I mean,
It's funny because I have done that before. I'm like, maybe if I shave, I can get a 0.1 off.
yeah, you manscape everything. Yeah.
But I weighed in at 277.
Well, it's not way
Yeah, dude.
worse.
I was
Very good guess.
I was a little bummed out.
It's
Those
not
7
way
pounds?
worse.
I mean, it is just one good dump away from 270, but
When you said like it's way worse, I thought you were going to say you were at 3.
oh no, I'm not that fat yet.
Not well. You're not ever going to be. We're gonna
Yeah,
have this
yeah.
weekly update. I
Yeah.
remember I'm dropping 12.
Right?
You're dropping 77, and we'll both be good. Both be golden.
What are some? Have you ever tried to lose weight? Either of you?
Yeah.
What have you had? What have you had success with
Fitbit
doing?
Fitbit calorie counting, calorie
Yeah.
budget.
I've had a good time with my Apple Watch a
Where
couple years ago.
it tells you, because it keeps up with you. It says you've burned 2,500 calories today.
Right.
Your goal is to have a 700 calorie deficit. You're over, under, whatever. You know,
Right, right.
if you're over, then you need to go running or something like that.
Right.
So Fitbit, I did really well.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of jogging, like
Yogging.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like I built myself up to a 5K like 3 times a week.
Yeah, that was
This is
ridiculous. He told me about that.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think a 5K is very. It's 3 miles,
Right.
3 times a week. I mean,
I've never run.
I mean, I can't do that right now.
Wait, you jogged 3 miles a day?
3 times a week.
Oh man,
Just like
that.
not 3 miles a day.
I've
Boy,
never
3 times a week.
I don't think I've ever. Even
I'd skip
walked
every other
3
day.
miles.
Still, that's how
But
long did that
I
take
had,
you?
well, it took me, like there's a
Gotta
app.
be like
there's an app.
hour and a half.
There's like a 5K build yourself up to 5K app, and it took like 8 weeks or something.
No, if you're jogging consistently, I mean, a 5K only takes you like what, 20 minutes, 25?
Yeah, something like that.
If you're jogging, if you have to stop,
I don't
though,
go way
like,
fast. I'm never gonna run more than a 5K. And then I just ate a little bit better.
Right.
I just didn't eat as horribly, and I actually lost a lot of weight.
Pulled the
doing that.
cheese off the quarter pounder. Did you?
No. Just
did
one
you
quarter
start to
pounder.
experience runner's high?
I mean, I felt good, but I don't think I ever
Were
ran
you like
enough.
craving it? You're like,
Well, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Especially in the summertime. Go out at night, sunset.
I just hate it.
Once you build yourself
passionately.
up to like that, and as long as I wasn't trying to push myself any farther,
Then
like
it still sucks.
No, but I mean, I hear people talk about runner's high. There's science behind it.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever ran enough
Yeah.
consistently to get that.
You get like a dopamine flush. I don't know. I saw people.
I'd rather just do meth.
I saw people. I saw people jogging on Christmas.
No, dude.
What?
That's that.
And
Did you throw a frozen water balloon at him?
I throw a statue of Jesus
because
at
there is a fitness cult now.
Right.
You don't love your Lord and Savior. Go home.
But I mean, my dad is was a big marathon runner when I was growing up, and he had to get both his knees replaced later on in life.
yeah.
So I'm like, I will
My
never.
grandpa did that.
Well, he wasn't running right. Just kidding.
Well, it's like you don't think you're doing damage now. It was like 20
Right.
years after he stopped running that he had to get him replaced.
You got to get that.
So
like,
it wasn't apparent at the time.
My grandpa fought in Korea.
Yeah.
And that's why his legs were.
Yeah, well,
No, I'm just joking.
What is
my
that?
dad
Yuck.
can beat up your dad.
well, they have all these machines
Maybe.
now that
No.
like have impactless running for your knees.
yeah. What?
So they're not like the impact of hitting the pavement.
Yeah.
So they have those machines now that
called
simulates running.
Treadmill?
It's called a treadmill.
No, like more than a treadmill. Like you're
More.
They're called treadmills.
no, because treadmills still have impact.
Oh.
So what is it?
I don't know what I can't remember what it's
Elliptical?
called.
Is it like
It's like an
exercising
elliptical.
in the space shuttle?
So it's not
or-
running.
But well, I said it's like an.
So he does a lot of cycling now, dude. I do not like cyclists.
Really?
No.
That's how I lost weight.
Really?
Yeah. I
Were you all pretentious out in the road?
No, I tried to do the trails. Not
Good.
really.
Yeah, see,
but
that's what I'm talking
in that summer I biked a total of 500 plus miles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's called the Zero Runner.
Oh,
Did you lose a lot of like core weight?
look at me.
Because my dad does a lot of cycling, but up top he's still really heavy.
Yeah, it was. I lost a lot in my waist faster than up higher.
You
Like,
know,
I dropped pant size pretty quick.
You know, you could probably like plank for 10 minutes a day and lose. Like
That's
10
all you
pounds.
got. Just plank 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah?
So much core. I mean, for not straight. If you can plank for 10 minutes, that is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys tried to plank
Oh,
lately?
I planked myself.
Like it's hard.
Yeah, it is.
So anyway,
Kettlebells and stuff.
Spencer's done. So I think we're
Done?
gonna wrap this up.
I mean,
he's getting loopy, which means we're probably almost at 3 hours. So is
probably.
that all you have?
Yeah, I'm done.
Well, to my best friend Danny, thanks for stopping by.
Hey,
Please come back.
I just want to get at robe status.
Yeah, we'll get you the robe.
point.
Good freaking luck.
We'll get you the
You
robe.
gotta believe in
up to Chris.
Bigfoot to do that.
Yeah. Danny's got UFOs. We'll bring him back for that teaser.
And Gigantopithecus.
Well,
Yes.
don't you know about UFOs? You being a secret agent and all?
I can't talk about it. So for the Our Take Podcast, episode 27, find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at the Our Take Pod. Episode 27. I'm Brian.
I am still single. And Spencer. And see you next time.